Hello, Conrad and Lucy and Caleb. This story about the Fantastic Four and the Frightful Four just gets better and better. We're getting close to the end of this saga, and so I'm just going to jump right into the story. Here's the cover of the comic book. Lo, there shall be an ending. All right, so we're getting close to the ending. And of course, we can see that, oh, the Thing, the Torch, Mr. Fantastic, and the Invisible Girl, they're all worn out from the battle. What's going to happen? Well, here's the scene that we left last time. Mr. Fantastic has captured the Thing, who's got an anti-grav disc on him, which makes it possible for Mr. Fantastic to string him along. And so Sue Storm is with them, and they're fleeing from the Wizard and the Torch. What? The Torch fighting against his partners? Well, remember, he seems to be under the control of the id machine, so it looks like he also has joined the Frightful Four against his partners. So let's get started. The Thing is upset. He says, just wait, I'll get this blasted anti-grav disc off of me sooner or later, and when I do, oh my, watch out. The Wizard is shouting instructions at the Torch. He's saying, Torch, lower your flame, you juvenile incompetent. Instead of stopping them, you're blazing an escape route they can follow. Torch says, I can't help it. I'm trying not to hit the Thing. Well, our lesson for the day is, trapped by their deadly counterparts, the Frightful Four, Reed and Sue attempt a desperate escape with the helpless Thing, while the flaming Human Torch leads the Wizard in hot pursuit. Did you catch it? That's a pun. Hot pursuit, as he's blazing a trail with his flame. All right, so now the editors say the start of another sensational spellbinder from Mighty Marvel. Well, I should say so. I think this saga is indeed sensational. All right, so here's, you can see now, Thing has this anti-grav disc attached to his chest, and it's keeping him afloat. He's thinking, Richard keeps shaking me to keep me off balance so I can't pull this creepy disc off of me. My strength don't do me no good while I'm weightless like this. Sue jumps into Johnny's roadster. She says, quick, darling, hop in Johnny's car. His flame won't hurt us. How can you be so sure, Sue? Asks Reed. I wonder if the Wizard's id machine weakened his powers. I've never seen him so clumsy before. That's just it, says Sue. The machine couldn't have affected him at all. I diffused it while I was invisible. The Torch can't be under their control. Isn't that great news? Lucy, did you catch that? Sue was clever enough to diffuse the id machine so it's no longer capable of making people follow the Wizard. And so this lets us know the Torch is just pretending to be under their control, and actually he's helping them to escape, just like the Wizard thought. So Reed responds, that explains his clumsiness. He's only faking. He's pretending to be helping the Frightful Four. Well, the Thing hollers, I ain't faking, mister. Once I get on my feet again, I'll mop up the place with you. Meanwhile, Wizard is hollering, follow them, you bungling fool. They're getting away. But Johnny says, I can't, Wizard. I've got to slow down in order to keep my flame from dying out. Okay, so he's making excuses. The famous Human Torch, bah, thinks Wizard. He's just an overrated, useless fraud. I'll dispose of him at the first opportunity. But then he says, I trust you have enough flame left to help me release the others who are trapped by my discs. The torch says, what do you want me to do? You'll see. And Medusa says, you and your accursed paste, trapster, these discs cannot be removed. And so she's floating in air, but she's got her hair hanging onto a tree limb. And Pastebot Pete says, how in blazes was I supposed to know Richards would toss him at us? Sandman says the wizard better get him off us or else. So the wizard whispers to Torch, they might try to turn against me because of this. That's why I want you beside me, Torch. And then he hollers out, hold still, all of you. My masker disc reverser will neutralize the anti-gravity effects of your discs. Right, so he turns the disc on his chest and that controls the other discs. Then as the three raging menaces regain their footing, Medusa says, those discs are too dangerous. They can be too easily turned against us. How true, my fair Medusa, admits Wizard. They give me the right always to call myself your leader. Some leader, says Sandman. Look how easy Richards and that dame got away from us. They made us look like bush leaguers, adds the trapster. Don't just stand there, Torch, orders Medusa. Burn this disc off me. Careful, careful, you clumsy clod. What you call me, lady, retorts the Torch. I'm not used to being talked to like that. Well, get used to it, says Sandman. You were just a big fat zero when we needed you, punk. Yeah, adds Pete. All you did was get in our way. It's almost as if he were trying to help Richards and the girl, thinks Medusa. A most interesting premise, my dear, realizes the wizard. Well, all you did was delay the inevitable outcome, says Medusa. They can't keep the thing helpless forever. Once he breaks free, he'll destroy them. So Johnny turns off his flame. At that very moment, in a private elevator at the famous Baxter building, you ain't keeping me a prisoner. I'll bust out and clobber you all. Whoom! And the mighty fist of the thing breaks through the elevator. And he whops Mr. Fantastic. Lucky he's still weightless, thinks Reed. If he'd been able to put his full power in that blow, it would have finished me. You're wasting your time, Ben. You'd need weeks of specialized training to learn how to use your strength properly while you're weightless. Weightless or not, says the thing, I'm still strong enough to handle a dozen like you, you crumb. And look at poor Sue. She's cowering in the back of the elevator. He's not far wrong, thinks Reed. He's still the most dangerous human fighting machine I've ever known. Stop it, Ben, says Sue. We're trying to help you. And so she throws her force field around Reed to protect him. It's no use, she thinks. He won't listen, but my force field will protect Reed. He's floundering, says Reed. Release your shield, Sue. I'll get him now. Good. All that remains is to keep him off balance again. And so Reed grabs him by the foot. What's he going to do? He's going to spin him around and around. That's just what I intend to do. He's got to be groggy enough for me to get him to my lab. There, the one thing that can nullify such mind-staggering strength is a severe case of dizziness and extreme vertigo. Yeah, think about how dizzy y'all get when you spin around and around. Well, the thing is even dizzier than that. He says, quickly, Sue, we haven't a minute to lose now. Follow me. So he grabs the thing, and puts him into his experimental lab. We've done it, says Reed. Nothing short of an atomic explosion can shatter that escape-proof experimental lab. And so he shuts the door and looks in through the window. Reed, asks Sue, what are you going to do to him? First, I'll feed him a heavy concentration of sleep gas to put him under. It'll be more merciful that way. More merciful? Asks Sue. In the name of heaven, darling, what are you planning? We can't let him remain as he is, answers Reed, an evil, deadly parody of his normal self. The only answer is to find some way to readjust his mind, to undo the effects of the wizard's devilish id machine. But that means I must tamper with his brain, and if I make the slightest miscalculation, it will mean his certain death. Oh no. Then, as Reed prepares to undertake one of the most desperate gambles of his life, his friend Johnny is gambling with his own life back with the Frightful Four. Stay where you are, Torch, says Pete, and don't try to flame on if you know what's good for you. Why? Asked the Torch. What's the wizard doing in that locked room, and what's going on here anyway? Clam up and wait, half pint, answers Sandman. He'll tell you when he's good and ready. Behind closed doors, we find the wizard and Medusa. The wizard says, ha, just as I suspected. My id machine has been defused. It isn't operating properly. Then the Torch has been faking, realizes Medusa. He isn't under your control. Oh no, they found out. Nobody can deceive the wizard. I'll make him rue the day he tried it. Stop. What are you doing? Saving your life, perhaps, says Medusa. He's still too dangerous for you to battle alone. Medusa shall help you. And so she uses her hair to pull the wizard back, but she's got a plan. And so Pete says, what's the verdict, beautiful? Do I holster my paste pistol or use it? I suggest you holster it for now, Trapster, answers Medusa. There's no need for us to do anything rash. Johnny asks, now, will you tell me what's going on? All in good time, Torch, answers Wizard. All in good time. Come on, says Sandman, get it over with. Cat and mouse games are for kids. And so, look, Medusa is using her hair to stealthily sneak Paste Pot Pete's gun out of his holster. You're quite right, Sandman, says Medusa, and this little game will be ended very soon. There, I did it, and he expected nothing. Medusa uses her hair to pull out the gun and shoot Paste at Johnny's arms, so he's trapped. And a wizard says, perfect timing, Medusa. So you're wise to me, huh? Says the Torch. Sandman, hollers Medusa. Quick, get him before he can become the Torch again. I'll hold him for you, says Wizard. Now, Sandman, now. You were all too slow, realizes Sandman. He's starting to blaze faster than I can cover him with sand. Look out! And Johnny says, flame on! And he starts to flame on as the Human Torch to battle off the Frightful Four. And vavoom! Look at the flames as he melts the paste, he melts the sand, and Wizard says, take cover. He's burned through his paste bonds before they could solidify. And so he shoots out his flame at Pete. Pete says, in a way, we're lucky he is the old Torch. He's under oath never to burn anyone with his blasted flame. That gives me a chance to reach for a new trap weapon. And so, look, Pete's got a little bullet of dynamite. He says, now, while his back is turned, this miniature resonance cap will have the effect of dynamite on an oil fire when it hits him. So he shoots off his dynamite pellet, says, I've got him, and it explodes right in front of Johnny. And now his flame is out and he's unconscious. The wizard says, good work, Trapster. The shock of impact caused his flame to fizzle out. I don't need an interpreter, pal, says Trapster. What do we do with the brat? Finish him off now or save him for later? But while the frightful four ponder that fateful decision, it's time for us to return to the Baxter building and Mr. Fantastic's lab. Sue asks, Reed, why hasn't Johnny rejoined us? What if something's happened to him? He's my own brother. I can't bear this fearful waiting. Reed, say something. But Reed is focused on this machine and he's turning nozzles. He says, I can't, darling, not till this job is finished. The slightest miscalculation on my part could kill Ben instantly. Forgive me, dear, says Sue. I've no right to distract you this way. And you can look, Reed is working on this giant football helmet, right? And Sue is handing him more materials. Reed says, I'm as concerned about Johnny as you are, Sue, but he's still got his flame and his wits. Well, actually, he doesn't have his flame and he's unconscious. But Ben is the graver problem now. Bear with me just a little while longer, my dearest. I'm doing the best I can. If only it didn't seem so hopeless, says Sue. Sue always seems to be a worrywart, doesn't she? Finally, many long, grueling moments later, all cycles are go, honey, says Reed. I'm ready to begin. And so he lowers the helmet down on top of Ben's head. And Sue prays, please, Lord, don't let Ben die. Well, amen to that. Operating his delicate machine like the master he is, Reed Richards begins to speak softly, grimly, beseechingly. Ben, old friend, wake up. I'm speaking to the real Ben Grimm, the real thing, not the evil creature whom the wizard has spawned. You must hear me. You must wake up as your normal self. So I hope that Reed's machine and his soft words will help bring Ben Grimm back out of the wizard's control. But look at his face, his eyes. Reed continues, you must banish those false images from your mind, Ben. You must rid yourself of the hatred, the savagery that now dominate your brain. I'm not reaching him, cries Reed. There's no response. He's awake, but he hasn't changed. He's still our enemy. Keep trying, Reed, encourages Sue. You can't give up on him now. But look, the thing says, you're lying to me like you've always done. You're the enemy, the worst enemy I ever had. You made me the way I am. Look, he's smashing the machine. He's breaking free. Oh no, Reed's machine didn't work. It didn't reverse the process. It didn't bring their friend Ben Grimm back. Ben, hollers Reed, you don't know what you're doing. You'll destroy your one chance. Ben. But he destroys the machine. And Reed says, too late. I've failed. Reed, look. The machine is still operating. And Reed realizes it's generating more power than ever. Due to the electronic upheaval, I detect a reaction. He's changing. What's happening to me? Asks Ben. My head. My head. This is what I feared. Even if the experiment worked, the after effects might prove fatal. Save him, hollers Sue. Do something, anything. If I can remove that helmet from his head. Cover me with your force field, darling. I've got to reach him. Don't falter, Sue. Don't weaken. I'm surrounded by thousands of volts of unharnessed current. And so the invisible girl protects her beloved fiancé with her invisible force field as he rushes toward the thing. As the desperate adventurer reaches his stricken friend, he thinks, even through the force field, the shock of touching him is almost unbearable, but I've got to hold on. I've got to. Sue realizes my mental shield isn't strong enough. He'll never make it unless... The main control switch, says Sue. Why didn't I think of it sooner? It'll cut off all the power. If only I'm not too late. So she pulls the lever and turns off the machine. You saved me, says Reed. Another second would have been too late. But we're not finished yet. My spacesuit. Get it quickly. Your spacesuit? Asks Sue. Then, in a matter of minutes, look, Reed is in his spacesuit, so he's protected now. He says, stay back. He's still bathed in deadly cosmic waves. That's why I need the protection of this suit. But they're fading quickly, so follow behind me. So Reed carries Ben into his room, says by the time the tragic, unconscious thing is placed upon the bed, Reed says, it's safe to approach him now, dear, but don't touch him for another few minutes. Reed, says Sue, he's so still, so lifeless. Is he? Is he? Oh, I can't say it. I don't know, Sue. I was unable to hear a heartbeat, but his skin is so strong, so insulated, that I can't be sure. There's nothing more that can be done for him, and we can only wait and pray. All right. So while Reed and Sue are praying and holding vigil over Ben, once again, it's time to change our scene. And this time, we're going to the heavily guarded Latvian embassy building in the heart of New York. So we're in a new place. We're in a new scene, looking at different people. And so a doctor says, your hands are healing as well as can be expected, Excellency. In another few days, you should be able to use them normally. Still another few days, hollers his patient. Get out, you inadequate incompetent. Who is this? Who is it whose hands were injured recently? Who is it who dresses in a green robe? Right? Who is this? Well, I think maybe you know. It is Dr. Doom. He's still in New York after the Battle of the Baxter Building, when the thing wrung his hands so painfully. And Dr. Doom hollers out, it's the thing's fault. He did this to me. He alone. And he knocks over furniture in his temper tantrum. And he looks out the window and he says, I soon shall have my revenge. As soon as my hands are healed, I'll be able to operate my emotion changer ray. Another of Doom's weapons. The one thing that can destroy my accursed enemies. But as he looks out the window, he sees a strange aircraft approaching the Baxter Building. What can its purpose be? Well, there it is. There's the Baxter Building. And look above. Do you see the spaceship flying noiselessly, maneuvering effortlessly? The Wizard's wonderful anti-grav airship zeroes in for landing atop the most famous headquarters building in the Western hemisphere. And so this sets us up for the finale, the big final battle between the Frightful Four and the Fantastic Four. But will all four of our fantastic heroes be available for the fight? Because the Thing is still unconscious, and we don't know the results of Reed's experiment on him. The Torch, the last we saw, he was trapped by the Frightful Four. And so it's still just Reed and Sue against all of the frightful enemies of their opposing quartet. Well, I can tell you, the last video, the last Papa video is going to wrap up this story, this great story arc of the Frightful Four versus the Fantastic Four. And so we'll tell that story the next time we meet. I can't wait. So y'all hang on. All right, love y'all. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.